Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, Donald Trump last night kicked off what he's calling his thank you tour, taking a bow following his victory in the election. He used his first rally last night to reveal that he's to appoint the former soldier, General James Mad Dog Mattis, as his defense secretary. Our Washington correspondent, Kylie Morris, joins us now from Indianapolis. Kylie.
Well, Donald Trump does love a rally. He thrived on the adoration, remember, of his supporters during the campaign. So perhaps that's why he's decided to do this. It is a very unusual move for a president-elect who's normally too busy for these kinds of things. Speaking with those, though, who turned out last night up the road in Cincinnati, there is a sense of joy, I think, that they've won, and satisfaction largely with how things are going so far. Very little concern that he's not fulfilling campaign promises, such as prosecuting Hillary Clinton or turning his back on big money and Wall Street. Instead, of course, Trump has just appointed the richest administration in modern American history. As some people did tell me about their worries about Mitt Romney, who they regard as disloyal to Trump. They don't like the idea that he might become Secretary of State, but they were thrilled by the decision to appoint General James Mad Dog Mattis as Defense Secretary. More on that in a moment. But I've got to say, this thank you event did feel at times more like a thank me and more fool you who didn't think I could do it event. A less than unifying message, really, from someone who will very soon become the president of all Americans and takes power knowing that millions more voters chose his rival over him. The election may be over, but the encores are just beginning. From the victory aria to the adoring crowds, Donald Trump last night meant to say thank you, but his own greatness kept getting in the way.
You are the movement. I'm the messenger. I'm just really the messenger. Although I've been a very good messenger, let's face it, right? I've been a pretty good messenger.
This was Trump putting the I back in triumphalism. In his honor, the crowd rolled out hit chants from the campaign trail. Build the wall, drain the swamp, even lock her up. But Trump now has no plan to prosecute Hillary Clinton, a matter that's not escaped everyone's attention. You're disappointed by that?
A little. Not that I'm vindictive. I believe in mercy. However, I'm not judging them, but they should at least be brought before the courts like we should.
What are we going to do? We're going to make America great again. You watch.
This is no longer about Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton. In one striking moment, it became America against the world and the evil forces of globalization.
There is no global anthem, no global currency, no certificate of global citizenship. We pledge allegiance to one flag, and that flag is the American flag.
The president-elect has appointed a son of Wall Street and a billionaire to steer his economic nationalism, despite campaigning against big money influence in politics. Last night, we couldn't find anyone bothered by that. Quite the opposite.
The only way they became wealthy was by selling a good or a service and helping make other people make money. I think it's great that we have business people and billionaires that are in these positions of authority now.
And if you're going to have the rich run the economy, why not appoint a general to run the Defense Department?
We are going to appoint Mad Dog Mattis as our Secretary of Defense. Mad Dog. He's great.
Retired Marine General James Mad Dog Mattis takes up a post almost exclusively held in the past by civilians. The 40-year veteran led the Marines to Baghdad in 2003.
But we're not announcing it till Monday, so don't tell anybody.
Trump played it as a scoop. He was delivering directly to his people.
He is truly speaking to the people.
He's not taking many questions, though. He hasn't had a press conference as yet.
To me, his goal is he's going to keep the American people informed as much as he can and do it honestly.
The people back there, the extremely dishonest press.
People here are enjoying it. It's like vaudeville. You can hear it. There's cheering at the media, cheering at the establishment. and celebration of their guy, the guy who won.
Thank you. I'm asking you to dream big again, and bold and daring things for your country will happen once again.
Back on teleprompter on its presidential setting, Donald Trump urged his followers to stay the course.
The script is not yet written. We do not know what the next page will read, but I'll tell you, it's going to be a great page. What we do know is that the pages will be authored by each one of you. Each one of you.
The men and women he called forgotten, now the authors of their own fate.
Kylie Morris reporting there.
America may have to wait till the new year for the big changes it voted for, but Donald Trump's giving a clearer idea by the day of what might be in store. As he continued what he calls his thank you tour of the battleground states, the US was digesting his choice for one of his top cabinet jobs. Donald Trump's defense secretary won't be a political insider, but an abrasive, battle-hardened general. The clue is perhaps in his nickname, James Mad Dog Mattis.
For the first time since his shock victory, Donald Trump was back on the campaign trail, calling it a thank you tour of Middle America. But this being Trump, more impresario than president-elect, he had a surprise at his rally.
I don't want to tell you this because I want to save the suspense for next week.
At stake, who would lead the Pentagon and be one of the key voices in his new administration?
We are going to appoint Mad Dog Mattis as our Secretary of Defense.
Mad Dog is just one of the nicknames for this former Marine general. He is also known as the Warrior Monk. He famously led the race by US troops into Baghdad, an impressive, hard-charging military leader, but who has also courted controversy with comments about warfare, including this one about fighting the Taliban.
Actually, it's a lot of fun to fight them, you know. It's a hell of a hoot. It's fun to shoot some people. I'll be right up with you. I like brawling.
Mattis will now be at the forefront of the fight against ISIS in the coming years, possibly collaborating with Russia in Syria. Trump was last night reveling in being the campaigner once more. For a final time, his supporters demanding Hillary Clinton be locked up. The president-elect is making cabinet announcements in the most theatrical way.
I refuse to tell, and don't let it outside of this room. Do you promise? Raise your hand.
Americans left to wonder now how exactly he will govern. The Mattis appointment is not without controversy. Trump will have to ask Congress to pass a special law to allow the former general to take over at the Pentagon. For by long tradition, the Secretary of Defense is a civilian job, and Mattis left the military only 3 years ago. With one former general, Mike Flynn, already lined up as National Security Advisor, and another, David Petraeus, in contention to be Secretary of State, the military is certainly enjoying the arrival of the Trump administration, even if this preeminence of generals is giving others some concern. Like his new boss, General Mattis is regarded as a hardliner on Iran. He recently described the government in Tehran as the most enduring threat to peace and stability in the Middle East, raising the question, what now is the fate of that Iranian nuclear deal? Robert Moore, News at 10, Washington.